Hello and welcome. Today is the 3rd of July 2017. My name is Derek. Let's go over 3 different codes which have been requested on the Bittrex exchange as we take a look at some key Fibonacci numbers and basically some analysis as I see it. I have very small positions of XZC. I think it's Z coin. And it has a key high in at 759, a low in at 238. Now, as far as these key Fibonacci levels, there really isn't much I can state as far as, oh, there's good buy and sell numbers here and there. Very much moving into a very choppy-ish kind of stage. However, just quickly looking at it, you can see the very first test from this high occurred right exactly at that level. And even the second time, albeit if you bought here and you see it go lower, okay, well, how'd that play out for you if you sold in here? That's some way of looking at it. This one in here, same thing. You were able to buy at this point. But quite frankly, the second time around, you know what? It's not that bad. Generally speaking, a pattern like this, if I see any type of move that comes down, I think buying here and selling here is not a bad strategy. But I think one of the key numbers in here is a key upside number right around 1554. And let's expand this because this is coming from an uptrend. So an uptrend that's going sideways. And because of that, I think that's where it would go after it ends up breaking this 750,000 Satoshi level. Let's take a look at the more longer term chart. And worth noting is the start of this, it just happens to work out that this high is 1500, and I usually give absolutely no precedences to highs like this if it's the first one and it goes down like this. And in this case, it's not going to be any different because when you look at how Fibonacci is playing, I mean, yeah, this was pretty decent. But, I mean, lackluster within this area. Yes, you can say it's fidgeting around it, so to a degree. However, if you adjust the Fibonacci to this high and this low, well, it worked out to another perfect 38.2% hit down to this level because I can put in a number of, say, and I don't. Let me just bring the screen down quickly here. There we go. So 7,500 is the high, and that's 750,000, but that's relatively irrelevant. And a low of the 350, which has the 2326. So we can see a perfect support level from this low to this high. So this also tells me that it's had the nice little move where it's corrected for quite some time within this sideways manner. Of course, we can talk about the 23 number being more of a key support rather than that of 357, which can be just one of those nonsense numbers. But with the break above this level, I would expect 150 to be an area like here. I think it would pierce well above it. I think when you see an up target like this, oftentimes I would expect to move maybe with a breach up here, which could turn out to be 400,000 or 500,000, but then, or even up to here, or whatever. But then as the months go by, it'll probably settle and trade in or around this 1500. So that's oftentimes within up targets. That does seem as if those are how they do play in. Let's move on to the next coin, or the next token rather. And the code is RBY. I don't have any Fibonacci numbers or playing with any of the key highs and lows. I don't really see much of a reason how that's going to help me. It really puts headaches into the issue, which is not really, that's figuratively speaking. But what do I see out of this sideways, really? I'm not going to say nonsense chart, but I mean, what happened yesterday for it to fall like this? And even got a bit on this day. I mean, I know this was with a normal downtrend, but man, how do these buy orders work for you if you got them in really low? And it can just be a simple case of like, you know what? I want to get in here, and I'm going to put a buy order in to match this low in and around, say, here. And you wait a couple of weeks, and it just hit, and you're back to where you were, and you got the instant gain of like 40, 50%. And these can happen often. Now, why does this occur? And usually within these cryptos, especially low volume, and this baby's only got 5 Bitcoin average volume right now, which is low, then you can have situations where they can just make these markets go way up and way down very quickly, and oftentimes they move it back up, because if it's done in one shot, someone with big coin, they got a few Bitcoins worth, which is big coin, like 4 or 5 or 6 or however many it takes to bring it down, not many. And they do such, and they do it in one shot oftentimes. They'll just sell it all. Okay, just going to sell 3 Bitcoins worth now, or however heck of amount of tokens, and they'll bring it down from like 17 to 10 in one shot. And they'll sell at an average of 13, 14 or whatever that, or 15, whatever. And it means when that happens, that the markets are almost always going to go back close to where it is, and probably in a sell, maybe start a downtrend. And that can happen, of course, for both buys and sells. Someone can just buy like maniac style, just go wild and buy it up so large, and then it goes back down. Let's take a look at this on a different time frame, a more longer term one. And in this one, I'm going to throw out the 18 average because I pretty much know it's neutrality right now, and it's been for the better part of about 2 years now. And I can work with some Fibonacci levels in here, because last time in 2015 it had an upward, let's just bring these numbers back up and show you within 3108 and 110. Up target 34,000, which represents approximately in here. So it's pretty much where it traded up to. Went a little higher, but it's a key area. And since that point, again, we've been sideways for quite some time. The high is in at 51,000, the low is in at 10,000. And it's got an up target of 140,000. So now let's assess a risk versus reward, probability percent, which I think is very important. Buying now is roughly the cost of 17,590, and if you're looking to sell at say 100 or 125, you're looking at gains of 6x, 7x. So right off the bat, you know that simply by buying, holding, and taking whatever losses that may come along the way, that you only need to be right like 14, 15% of the time just to break even, with the 85% occurring with everything losing. And you know, sometimes you're going to be wrong and you're going to get something back. Or you're going to, yeah, you just something back. But this just shows you how long you can wait, because how many people along this level have sold due to impatiency of trying to wait for its next move. This is one heck of a long sideways consolidation. So I talk about waiting a few days, a few weeks, sometimes even a season. No, sometimes even almost 2 years now, year and a half, year and 3/4. It's nuts, totally nuts. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. And as far as support, where it would come from, somewhere back in here would be the answer. Let's look at UBQ, the final one. And this one has, I think, a very beautiful buy order set up, and at around the 42,000 mark. We're looking at the low of 3,000, which represents this space area here. I don't want to count this low in here, which is 2,000, because there's no real price memory here. Also, it's not like we've seen it come down before. And this level is more of a major support bottom area, a floor if you're looking for. Not going to count down to 2. And it doesn't make much of a difference anyway. 97,000, I got it a high. I could put 100 because all these numbers are just rough ballpark area. And it seems it pierces through. So as far as a buy order here, I would say around 40,000. That's a pierce below the 42. And you could even go maybe 36, 37 because you think that this could do pretty good. Now, I already have tokens in UBQ. It's been written in the webbot, and well, obviously, since I got them, it's written that it's probably going to be going higher, which is why I'm accumulating. And I'll be putting in I've already put in an order, but I'll be purchasing and owning more tokens if the price action happens to go towards this level. And when you look at this here, let's use common sense here. 1, they usually pierce below. 2, it really was in here. So if you have a market of anything that looks like this, I would expect this to be a bigger area. Now this number 42,703 represents a 23.6% down correction. The reason why I like it is because I like how it's been supporting this area, which is a normal move chunk to where it would go if, keyword if it breaks down. So if you're in a situation where you're looking to accumulate, this is a spot where if you don't have anything, you buy some now, and then you put maybe a buy order in here, if that's something you're looking to do. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.